back here with Farshad. Got a little update for people. I saw some questions I put together, some that we're going to go over. Of course, we want to give an update on assays at the current moment to give people insight. We are recording on a Tuesday afternoon. But first things first, Farshad, how are you?
Hi, Jason. Thank you for having me. It was a great week last week, and I hope you've had a nice week started already.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I mean, we're getting some snow here in Toronto. Unfortunate, but hey, onwards and upwards we go. But I know everyone wants to hear about Doubleview and not snowing in Toronto. So, to give people a little intro, of course, we're going to do assays. I'm going to ask some other questions too. I see some questions about the HUD Bay joint venture stuff that was previously, of course, a part of Doubleview. So, first things first, Farshad, I got to ask, do we have an assay update?
Yes, I'll give you an assay update. We have not received the assays yet, and I assure you, the shareholders, that we are uh, listed on TSX, and it's a very bad disclosure if we don't announce them. And you know, a company cannot sit on material change and not reporting that to the public and the shareholders. And we're not doing anything other than that, waiting for the assays. I assure you that I have communicated with the lab, and I can read uh, part of the lab's email. I unfortunately I cannot read the whole thing because these are, again, as I said, material, and we cannot disclose the information. I read it to you, and it says, pointing to us, thank you for being patient. And again, I understand your frustration at our long TA times. Many of our clients have also aired their frustrations. We have been shipping out other client samples to our branch labs to try to reduce our sample prep package and activity recurring, which has been a change in itself. We've had some success in the later weeks of December and few weeks of the new year, and hopefully this recruitment of manpower increasing the province to get a handle on the COVID pandemic. So, and they're going with the timeline. It's also frustration for us too. Believe it or not, we need the data to move, because later on I'm sure you're going to ask me when we're going to drill, that I have the answer for it. And so we need those data as well for our clients, and basically for our contractors, for our shareholders, for ourselves. I'm very, very confident of our drillings, that what we have done, we have been in the deposit. We have shown photos in the past of the core, and I'm very, very confident that we are in the same vicinity or better than before. And plus, we have a new zone that I really don't know what kind of model it is, and we are very excited to know what they are, because those are a sort of deposit that it's so new, and we have a high hope of having significant gold values, which has to come out of the assays. And that can change our even uh, drilling method that we are doing right now, that we ought to see.
Yeah. Well, here
But I have answers to.
one step at a time. So I think it's great. Address a lot of the concerns. Is Farshad sitting on assays? Your answering is, no,
Uh,
and legally you can't. So awesome. Curious, and I know other people are asking. We were expecting any day now. Really about a week ago. Have you heard anything to make you think it's not any day now, or are you still expecting, any day now?
uh, to be honest with you, I was under the impression that I'm going to receive it last week. And when I look at this email, and this lady is saying, I'm sitting on this batches for you to make sure definitely they go through our gate and you get them ASAP before anybody else. That's what I phone these guys, and you see, I show my frustrations. I say I'm, moving, and I'm getting other labs involved. But quite honestly, they are the best lab as far as the separation of the metals from the rock. I'm very pleased with them. I like to stay with them because technically they are to our advantage. That's why I'm stuck there. Otherwise, I would have gone to another lab.
Cool. But you're still under the impression it is still any day now.
To be honest with you, any day. It could be tomorrow.
Cool. No, good. And
It's
that's really
coming
good.
very, very short, very, very shortly. I believe could be any second. And we are well prepared for the news release
Cool.
because we know what we've done, we know what we have, and we get at it.
Cool. No, I think that's a great answer. So here, you're already picking it. So I'll pick this question. Drilling resumption stuff. Any answers you can give to people, any update you can give around drilling?
Yes, if you pay attention to what I said about the assays, some of these assays are definitely going back to the assay to how we're going to drill the next holes. But fortunate enough, we have about three holes that we already know where we are going to eh, put them down into the ground. So those three holes are already prepared. I am still don't hold me to the fire, but I am basically working on the mid-February, end of February-ish, not real end of February. We want to get to the property. I'm preparing myself every day, working on that to get to there
Cool.
right now.
Awesome. No, I think that's a good update. Still staying to the mid February, end of February goal. That's great. Question about the cobalt studies. Any update around there? People asking when they can expect some results. Do you have anything to say?
Because we are in the midst of that, I can give you an update on that. We've done the preliminary crushing and work. It's been done. It's been pleasant so far. I can't tell you how and how much. And right now, as we stand, the lab is doing flotation test and also gravity test on the final gold and part of copper and sulfide and cobalt. And I'm just waiting for that to happen. And it's going in the right direction. And yeah, I'm getting good vibes out of it. That's all I can, really say that at this
Do you want to
stage.
guesstimate a timeline or?
I believe it's about 2 to 3 weeks the flotation time takes, I believe. Uh, there's something about uh, metallurgy test. I am not a metallurgist, and I've done it in the past, but we haven't done it on this type of cobalt, and the process is unknown to me. That's why it's a little bit black box. But
Cool.
I met with them on Thursday last week, and we had a conference call with London and here in Langley and our office, and we looked at the data and the work that they have to do, and so far it's going the right direction.
Cool. So
I
yeah,
have the
a few
confidence in
weeks, and we
it.
expect to give people an update as of course you get them.
Yes, yes.
Cool. Awesome. Well, hey, I think that's the majority of the questions I pulled. I know there's not too much other crazy stuff. The one thing that I'm seeing a lot of, and especially for new investors, I'm curious if you're open to talking about the Hud Bay joint venture, and what happened, with Hud Bay and why they had to go their separate ways. Can we talk about this maybe for a few minutes if you're open to it?
Yes, I'm literally at the time that we had the Hot Bay Agreement. Yes, I was approached to uh, bring down a little bit of that exploration. Then we brought down and we tried cooperation. Apparently, the management was trying to walk away from.
Do you want to intro the Hud Bay JV like for people first, and then we can talk through what happened?
Sure, yes. Hot Bay JV happened in 2018. I had several offers on the table, so I accepted Hot Bay for technical reasons and because they were Canadian. We had better access, and we were companies that I knew of them, how they worked in previous JVs, like Constancia, and they wrote a check for $550 million for that, I believe, if I'm correct. And that's why I started working with them. But the agreement was $40 million plus whatever it takes for a JV of first 49.51, then move to 60%, if I'm correct, and give us a feasibility study to move the project to production. And they work with us to tag along in production, which is very awesome, which was very awesome. But along the way, the management went into a very large turmoil, and the decision of new management was to walk away from our project, at least with several other ones. I had several meetings with them. They tried, quite honestly, the technical team wanted to revive this, make sure this one goes ahead. I cooperated with them, but at some point, I just because now and then I had a very good blueprint of what I have to do next, and my will wish was, the best for them, and we went part our ways. They spent about $2.5 million. They gave us money, and so what else do you wish for? No dilution on the stock, and we got the best results, and we moved on. I tell you, still,
So
I have.
again, I just want to confirm, and I see these, and sorry to cut you off. People are saying, "Oh, did Hudbay walk away because the project wasn't good enough?" You're saying no, it was actually cash flow issues with Hudbay itself, and they had to turn over some management teams, which included cutting a lot of the junior kind of exploration away from Hudbay.
Yes, if I want to comment on one word, one sentence that sticks to my head like really good. I believe they at some point they told me they have 20 some projects, that this is the best of their projects that they're working on, you know. And no, the project still, I believe, I speak here and there, like I spoke with them in Toronto, and they speak highly of the project. No, it wasn't that. And they were really good people, good management team. Even the new management, we have some people we know them as well. They've been colleagues of our directors, and we know them. And no, at this time, you know, I tell you that maybe our project, the hat project, is bigger than their head. Right? We have made a large expansion on this project. Let's see, once we see the 1.5 kilometer away, the new zone, how it comes. Maybe it's way bigger than companies like, I better not name them.
Okay, well, hey, that's a good little teaser. Look, I think that's enough chat about the Hudbay JV. I know a lot of people already knew, but there's a lot of new people asking questions, and I'm glad we were able to say, look, it worked out great for us. We kept it no dilution. They spent a ton of money, and wonderful. We all walk away, or at least Doubleview walks away as a winner, and they go through their management change, and it is what it is. So awesome. The other thing I wanted to talk about, last thing, I know you put together this, property overview and the potential of the hat property. We have a little video here we're going to be sharing as well. Do you want to kind of intro it a little bit for people that, are new to mining, that don't know what they're going to be seeing or what they're watching in this video? Do you want to just talk about it for a minute? And then, of course, I'm sure we'll answer questions on that in a future video.
Sure, yes. There's a couple of things we got to know is why we are pointing at our deposit, and we are pointing at this IP, 3D IP that I'm putting on the screen. It's a very important point in there that we have tested and yet to receive more assays and know better lots of this IP anomalies, and we're showing that it really works. And if you look at this model, you see We are one of the best deposits, perhaps right now in North America, that we have this much volume, IP volume, which I believe it's going to work to the end, and we have a large volume of deposit in North America, and the market is constantly moving towards copper and copper oriented. If you check MSNBC and lots of other outlets, especially on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, lots of commodities got hit, except copper stood up really tight, really well. And all over MSNBC, they were saying, hey, listen, if you want to see what is the next run, it's copper. And I saw people like Mr. Robert Friedland, they were talking about what is the flow of this exploration all the way to consumption. And we see there's not a lot of feeds. Guess what? We have one of the large ones here, and we're working on it. And I think we're prepared this year to move it to copper market makers, the people who produce that. And I admit that we're exploration company, we're not taking that into production, but if it takes it, I go there.
Cool. Well, hey, we'll leave it there. Again, invite anyone to ask questions about what they're going to see in the 3D IP and the kind of property overview. We'll definitely do a Q&A video coming up. Hopefully, also talking about some assays next week. So, Farshad, anything else you wanted to say? You wanted to address before we close things off?
Yes, I want to show you something. That's what I do inside my office. I've done it since 2013, and this is my golden hat. Anyone needs our hat, they have to pay gold for it.
All righty. Well, we're gonna leave it there.
You know, I have it at my office all day, every day, and I'm going in to the office with it and going out. And I believe in the hat project. One question people ask me, how often are you going to release the assays? I'm hoping that I receive the assays tomorrow and for all the holes and can release it, not only for the sake of shareholders, but also for the sake of our own planning in the next drilling. But if they come in 1.5 batch, we have to announce the first hole, then wait for the full length of the next hole and go from there. But rest assured, I tell everyone, we cannot hold the assays.
Perfect. Well, there you go. All right, Farshad, thanks so much for joining. I know sometimes these videos can be a little frustrating seeing these questions, but hey, I appreciate you taking the time to answer them, especially for the new interested shareholders. I know D4 just put out his reports. I know he's taken a ton of eyes, so it's nice that you're able to answer some of these questions that people have been asking. Farshad, thanks for joining. I guess we'll talk next week.
Thank you very much, Jason, for having me here. Goodbye.